Have you ever noticed that knowing what to do doesn't mean you'll actually do it? Most of us already know that we should exercise, that we should be uh, waking up early to probably meditate or drink more water. You know all these things, but we still don't do it. So, s- if we already know all of this, why don't we change? The truth is that doesn't mean that you will be changing. Change doesn't happen at the level of knowledge. It happens at the level of identity. So if you followed me or if you've been listening to me in my previous live streams or recordings, you know that I talk a lot about identity. So what does that mean? Identity equals change. Yesterday, I went through how our mind works and the programming that influences our behaviors. So, even though you've studied the books or you've read the books, you've studied the material, I've been in personal development for so long, and I've read so much information and I've gotten the knowledge, but change didn't happen until I started practicing what I've actually studied. It's actually identifying myself with the knowledge. And yesterday I talked a little bit about that as well as how do we develop that identity? How do we make sure that when we are creating new results, we're seeing ourselves differently? And that's how change will begin. So, as I've mentioned before, change happened when you started dwelling upon the information. It's at the subconscious level. And I gave an example yesterday. When I decided to compete in fitness, that was one thing that made the difference. In the past, I knew that I needed to exercise more often. I know that I needed to to eat cleaner, that I needed to do certain things in order for me to get to my goal. But the truth is that I didn't do it. I actually had all the knowledge because I studied exercise, nutrition for the longest time. I also studied to become a personal trainer. I was a group fitness instructor. So I had all this knowledge behind me, but I pretty much maintained, I obviously I was younger, so I was physically fit, but never to a point that I could compete in fitness. And I was interested in that area. So the only way that actually changed happened, it was when I actually started identifying myself as a fitness competitor. And that's the moment that everything started changing for me. The huge transformation I had, it was unbelievable. And it's not only has happened in fitness, it's also has happened in my career. I stayed at the same level for the longest time, and it wasn't until I started identifying myself as someone a, who's capable of reaching different levels in my career that I started getting to that level. Going um, from what is it, five-figure income to a six-figure income, and that's also a level of identity. And that's one thing that we teach people in thinking into results. There's a lot of misconceptions about how everything happens, and there's a lot of beliefs about how change does happen. And I'm just pulling my because I want to make sure that I'm following through. Um, so I want to introduce one simple idea today. And I know I've already spoken for 4 minutes, but I just want to make sure that we get this information. Knowledge informs you, but identity transforms you. And that's how I've mentioned in the past. That's what actually made the difference for me. So there's three false beliefs that I want you to take away from this. Number one, I just need more information. People are always seeking information in order for them to start creating different results. And based on what I've spoken in the last few seconds, that's not how it is. Um, you can learn almost everything for free. You can actually go online nowadays and ask the question that you need answers for, and the answers will be there. And you can learn so much. There's free courses out there, but really think about it. Anxiety is still increasing, burnout is increasing, and people still feel stuck. We have so much information, so why we're still stuck? So information is really not the missing piece. False belief number two, I'm lacking motivation. I don't think most people lack motivation. I think they're acting consistently with who they believe they are. And this is something that I mentioned yesterday. The way that you see yourself has a lot to do with the actions that you will take on a daily basis. So if someone believes I'm inconsistent, then guess what? You're going to continue to be inconsistent. So your actions will always match that identity. False belief number three, changing is hard. A lot of people think that change is hard. But the truth is that I don't think that change is hard, is that you need to become someone different in order for you to. Okay. Sorry about that. I just need to, and this time I decided to do it on my phone. So I need to just make sure that people don't disturb me. So I don't get interrupted because anyway. So again, belief number three is that changing is hard. And the truth is that I don't think change is hard. It's just that the fact that you're becoming someone different and it's unfamiliar to you, that's why it feels uncomfortable. And it's the fact that it's uncomfortable that people have a harder time to change because it requires you to do something different. This is why in the last few shows or recordings, I've spent so much time talking about self-image and identity, is because once you change that image of yourself and you actually start practicing that version of you, that's when change will happen. Again, you'll have so much information under your belt, and I'm sure, you know, you've had the degrees and you've gotten the studies, but the only way that change will happen is the moment that you will start identifying yourself with the material that you're reading and practicing yourself being someone different. You will feel uncomfortable, but uncomfortable is good. It's meaning that you're actually doing something different. So here's a question that I want you to think about today. Where in your life are you waiting for more information to change? Because knowing is the beginning, but becoming is the transformation that will make it happen. And I will give you this to think. I'll give you something to think about, and let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear Um, what is one area where you're ready to stop collecting information and start becoming? Thank you for being here. I will just grab a few clips and put it under my post. And sorry for the interruption. If you've been listening to me, I want to make sure that I'm not being interrupted by um, or disturbed by other calls. But anyway, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow, same time.